Hey, sir.
Hey,
Hey, and we're back.
we're back. We're back. We missed a week.
We did miss a week, and I partially blame the long weekend for that. That's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. But part of it too is I think we were both sick and not fun stuff.
Yes. So first off, um, we're Journey to the Middle, and I'm Matt.
And I'm Dana.
Right. And so we were both sick over the weekend. Like it went through my family. My kid had it, gave it to
Oh,
my wife. I think my wife gave it to me. And then I don't know, from afar you got it from me. And everybody was sick. So
I do want to blame you for that because I will totally give you credit for that. It's all good. I'll blame your children for that.
blame my children. I do the same thing all the time at work. Just when I'm out and someone screws up my order at dinner, even if the kids aren't there, I blame them.
I mean, as you should. That's what I would do. It only makes sense. And I have to tell you too. So, well, I'm telling you, we should tell everybody. So we're not able to be in person recording tonight, but we're using like one of those WebEx things, and the audio is not so bad so far. I did a test recording yesterday, so I the levels will be evened out for both of us, and then next week when we release our next episode after this one, we have new mics and everything, so that'll make life even better.
Yeah, so we're winging it, as Dana likes to do on this one. Hopefully when we record together again, I will be louder and Dana will be quieter.
Well, so I was talking to Mike about that, and he told me, he said basically, and I should have thought about this before because it made sense, but he basically told me that essentially, even though you talk quieter than me, I should have been closer to the mic anyway because my voice carries. Well, I have a big fucking mouth, but despite that, we both should have. I mean, you were pretty close to the mic too, but either way, we'll get it worked out so people can better enjoy our voices together.
Yes, we're figuring it out as we go. So I mean, this is episode 4.
This is episode 4.
We're not perfect by any means.
I mean, we kind of are, but we'll get more perfect.
I think the cicadas would have something to say about that.
It's a good thing I'm actually not sitting outside this evening and recording with you because they're pretty loud around my house these days. And I think it's probably because they're croaking because, it's going to be fall soon and all that fun stuff. So, yeah. So I think they would have something to say about this.
Yes. So, all right. So the topic at hand is cover songs.
Wait a second. I'm gonna back us up for a second here because we have facts that we need to quickly really quickly.
Are we gonna do our fun facts segment?
I think we should just really quickly because it's top of mind for me from our binge-worthy episode. So I'll let you handle yours, and then I will totally handle mine. And I'm sure there were more that I just didn't pick up on of my own.
All right, so insert your jingle for our fun facts segment here. Fun fact, Black Mirror is 5 seasons, not 3 seasons.
I think you had a couple more fun facts about that too, about Black Mirror, didn't you?
I wrote down 2 of them. There might be more.
Well, so I'll let you address your other fun fact about that. But fun fact, the creator of This Is Us is not Dan Fogelberg. That's a fucking singer-songwriter dude from the 70s. It's Dan Fogelman.
Fogelman.
Fogelman, yes, exactly.
Speaking of names, Linda Cardinelli, correct?
It's actually Linda Cardellini.
Cardellini. That's how you say her name. That's the fun fact. I messed up the name.
That's okay. I mean, you did say it Cardinelli in the episode.
Okay.
And I'm gonna steal your. I think this is probably where you were gonna go with the next Black Mirror one, but
Yeah.
the pig fucker episode was actually episode 1, right? Did I get that right?
Yes, episode 1. I did have another one.
Oh, do
So
tell. Do tell.
so fun fact, uh, Miley Cyrus covers the Nine Inch Nails song "Head Like a Hole" in her episode of Black Mirror. I
Oh,
reversed it, you see,
now
like
see,
an idiot. Like an idiot. So just so our listeners know, I am not a Nine Inch Nails fan. So
but just so you know, though, I didn't know any different when I was listening to the episode.
yeah, well,
But I'm sure we
again,
have people out there who did.
we're not perfect.
We're close to perfect, but like I said, we'll continue to get more perfect.
And I feel like the fun facts will come up every episode.
I think so too. I think that is accurate. 1000% accurate, and that's okay, because that's we're not paid to get our facts straight every single time, right?
Yeah, not yet, damn it.
Not yet. Goals, #goals, right?
There you go. You know what? Before we get into the actual topic, I just thought of something that I just wanted to mention.
Do it.
Tori Spelling and Jenny Garth from our wonderful BH 90210 show are coming to the Chicago Theater.
What?
Yes, I keep getting this ad on Facebook over and over. And Jenny Garth, bless her heart, calls Chicago a state.
Are you shut up? Seriously?
In this ad, she calls it a state.
God.
But here's the thing. I have no idea what they're going to do in this show. If you go to the comments, which I did to try to find out, people are literally asking, what are they going to do? They don't say, it's the two of them speaking in this ad, and they don't say what they're going to do. They're just saying they're coming here.
Really? I think for shits and giggles, we should go.
I mean, let's see how much tickets are, because like I said, we don't even know what's going to happen.
Oh, I mean, I'm looking right now.
Of course you are.
Of course I am. So the cheapest tickets that I see right now at the Chicago Theater in the balcony are $66 a piece, which I don't know that I want to pay those two $66 a piece to go and hear them talk or like twirl their hair.
Right.
Oh, no, you know what? Oh, sorry.
$66 a piece to hear us talk would be great. Not them.
Totally. But here, I'm looking on the official Ticketmaster site, and tickets are like half that cost for balcony.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of balcony. There's a lot. And I think it actually looks like the highest cost for tickets is only $59. Well, maybe more than that. No, you know what though? Actually, Matt, I think we should go. They have main floor tickets for just under $60.
Okay. All right. So wait. So like people in Chicago, like they could join us for a Journey to the Middle outing.
Exactly. I think that we need to do this. I think we need to do this. We'll talk more offline.
Yeah, we'll talk more later. We don't need to hear. Not everybody needs to know our conversation about what we're going to do here.
That's fair. And plus, we'll figure it out. Okay, we'll put a pin in that and come back to it. But anyway, so thank you for bringing that up.
We had to. This is part of our show here, up for the first 6 episodes, right?
I love it, and it's relevant, and it definitely has to do with everything. I'm into it. I love it.
All right.
Okay, so
cover songs.
Yes.
So I'm fairly certain as we go through our list here, I'm going to be scattered because I wrote down notes. I got into this I tried to get in depth on a few of them.
Did you?
As I was like thinking of other songs, I oh man, I am going all over the place.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to keep myself focused on this one, but I feel like I'm going to be all over.
That's okay. Well, then I'm going to I was going to say, I'm going to hand it to you so that you can start going, crazy with it.
Oh man. All right. So all right. So my first one's going to be the song "American Woman," originally by the Guess Who,
Yes.
redone by Lenny Kravitz.
Yes, sir.
You know what? And like, I'm not even sure if I ever heard the Guess Who version before I
What?
heard Lenny Kravitz. But I heard Lenny Kravitz, and like later on, I figured that out. I'm like, oh man, okay. And I really like the Lenny Kravitz version. I
Really?
think he does. I do. I think he does it justice. Um, I don't know. It rocks out to me. It's like that's the one I hear in my head.
Do you think it's better than the Guess Who version, though?
I think it's very comparable.
Okay. Okay. I will
I,
agree with you.
all right.
And what do you mean you
I
never
was
knew
waiting
that?
for you to be like, no, you're crazy. Lenny Kravitz sucks.
No, I don't think he sucks, but I was just surprised to hear that you didn't hear that song before because it very prominently was featured in American Beauty.
That is true. That is true. I probably didn't even put it together though.
And maybe not. That's why I was just a little surprised at that. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's a good pick. I do like Lenny Kravitz, so I'm not going to slate you that one.
Okay.
Now, if you would have said that it was better than the original version, then I might have like had to fight you for that because
I don't think he strayed very far away from the original version.
exactly.
It sounds a bit updated.
Sure.
Probably mostly to technology.
Right.
But yeah, it's not one that goes way off base and like change the song completely. It's for the most part the same song.
Yeah. I agree with you. I like it. That's a good pick.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Pat yourself on the back for it. That's great.
What do you got for me? I know one of yours.
So
I don't know if you're gonna start with that one. But.
actually it's funny. It's funny because and I didn't even plan it that way when I posted on the page the other day, but it was totally the first one on my list that I wrote down. And it actually is Miley Cyrus, her cover of Jolene,
Mm-hmm.
which was of course originally done by Dolly Parton. Now, I am not a Miley Cyrus fan by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not a hater either. I don't really care about her. It doesn't matter to me.
She exists
However,
for you, and that's about it.
yeah, exactly. She's out there. It's great. But I have to tell you, I actually do dig her version of the song.
I think you're in good company there. I think a lot of people dig that song, her version of that song.
Yeah.
Like Dolly Parton's voice to me,
What?
she could sing, but like, she has another song that got redone, that is way better than her version. She's too country. She's got that deep country twang when she sings.
Oh, man.
And not every country artist has that. Some of them lose it, but I mean, I'm agreeing with you. I like Jolene. I like Miley Cyrus's version.
I did totally. I'm like saddened that you're not really a Dolly fan. I love Dolly. Mike and I want to go to Dollywood. That's it's like being a fanalo, but we're a fanalo of Dolly.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's too much twang for me. Though, just
Okay.
the song is good itself. Dolly singing the song.
Well, that's like your opinion, man, and you're entitled to it.
You say that with like, oh man, we're lucky. We're not in the same room right now.
Right. But just wait. No, I'm kidding.
We're gonna have to do every podcast from a distance over the phone from now on because she wants to kick my ass. We're not liking Dolly Parton.
I send him threatening text messages all the time, like, "How dare you not fucking like Dolly's voice?" I mean,
Random threats at 2 a.m.
right? Exactly. Now, don't give away all my secrets. Jesus, God. All right, I'll shut up. It's your turn.
All right, I'll bring it back a little bit as well, and you might see this one coming. Higher Ground, Stevie
Oh,
Wonder, done by the Chili Peppers.
All right. I like it. Now I want to hear why you're such a fan of it.
I hear this song and it just gets me. I just want to like get up and dance and sing this song.
Nice.
Especially with the Chili Peppers version. It's a fun fucking song.
Well, when did they? So the original version was done, obviously, like in the 70s by Stevie. But when did the
Mhm.
Chili Peppers? What album was that song on?
It was the one before Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Was it Freaky Styley or Mother's Milk?
I believe Mother's Milk. I think that was the one because Freaky Styley was like their very first one.
Okay. Okay. I'm just trying, like, for context. Do you remember the video too?
Not well.
The only snippet I could see in my brain of the video is where it's like the camera is kind of like circling the group. It might even
Mhm.
be at the very end, and maybe I'm misremembering, but I swear like that's how I remember the very end of the video or something. So, aw, I love that you like that song.
And Stevie Wonder. I mean, what do you think about him? Since I don't like Dolly.
So I like Stevie a lot. Let's be honest though, like I am a music whore, so I like so many different types of music. So Stevie Wonder is definitely up there. I think he's super talented. I really enjoy getting more into his catalog of stuff.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I mean, you know what's funny with Stevie Wonder and for me is if I hear a song, I'm like, oh man. So, there was a song I heard the other day. It's called, I believe it's called Faith, and it was on the Sing soundtrack. This was an animated movie basically about music.
oh,
Um, and their song Faith. I don't know if that's an old song of his or if it's a newer one, but I heard this and I'm like, I really like this song. So I went back, pulled it up on Spotify, and it's Stevie Wonder.
really?
Yes.
And I did not know that there was, you said the movie's called Sing?
Sing, yeah, it's kind of like this. It's an animated movie. It's got this great message, but for the most part, it's kind of like almost like this American Idol type deal going on, where all the characters are animals, and they try out for this music showcase to save this theater. And they use a lot of like music that is popular, top 40 music and everything. And this song I didn't recognize, and I heard it the other day, and I just picked it out and looked it up.
Huh. Interesting. And I don't think that I've actually, maybe I have heard of that movie. I'm guessing it's not like a super recent release.
No, it's a couple years old, and I don't think it was a big popular movie.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? This has got to be. I'm just looking it up now. This has got to be a newer song. It's called Faith from the movie. Like I said, it's Stevie Wonder and actually Ariana Grande is on the song too.
Did they rip off George Michael in this version by any chance?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so.
Okay. Just making sure. Ari-
Maybe they did. I don't
Ari-
believe so, but I'm pretty sure they are different lyrics.
Ariana Grande, though, huh? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
No,
I'm
I
sure you
mean,
got choice
honest.
words about her.
No judgment. Seriously, like no judgment on that. It's interesting. That's interesting, but not shocking because I feel like a lot of and I'm using air quotes, a lot of the old timers are teaming up with a lot of the youngins these
Mhm.
days. It's just been happening so often. So interesting.
Interestingly enough, too, because I just thought about this fact, and this is kind of what I do. Um, that movie Sing is where Taron Egerton was discovered to eventually play Elton John in Rocket Man.
Really?
Yes, because he does a Elton John song on that movie, and Elton John was somehow involved into that, and that's where he's like, I like this guy, and picked him out to do Rocket Man.
No shit.
Yes.
Huh. Well, I have yet to see Rocket Man. We actually have it here waiting at the house on Netflix, like an actual DVD. Um,
Okay. Wait, a
so
DVD?
yeah, well, so Mike's subscription, he's got the one like where you can stream and then also still like rent, quote unquote, the DVDs. Um, so yeah, so that's what we're gonna watch that this weekend, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I know.
I
Finally,
didn't
huh?
know. I mean, someone still has DVDs apparently. All right.
I have lots, and I just bought a few more this past week too. So good stuff. All right, so Higher Ground by like the remake by the Chili Peppers. All right, I like
Yep.
it. I like it. Now, my next pick, I don't even know if you know who this person is. Um, it is a cover of a Joni Mitchell song, and the song is Both Sides Now. And this lovely, amazing woman, Rachel Yamagata, covered that song a few years ago. Might
So
even
interestingly enough, Dana, I do know who Rachel Yamagata is
really,
because of you.
really.
You've talked about her a million times,
That is
and
fair.
yeah. So I looked her up at one point and did listen to a little bit of her music. I don't follow her nearly as much as you do, but I have heard her, and she's got a great, great voice.
Yay! That makes me so happy. Aww, that makes me totally happy because yeah, her cover of this song, like Joni Mitchell's voice, she has a prominent voice, and especially like for back in that era. But I don't think she had or has a terrible voice. I just think that Rachel does so much more justice to this song.
Mm-hmm.
So much more justice to this song. It's a really pretty like love song. Um, but it's Rachel, and I've followed her now for almost 20 years, and she's fantastic. And her version of this song is just, I don't know. I really think it's way better than the original. So that's my pick.
So that is definitely one that I think probably most of our listeners are going to have to check out.
I I definitely agree with that. I think that it was on like a compilation, if I'm not mistaken. It probably about 10 years ago. I don't recall 100%, but I know for sure that I bought the compilation and it's stored away somewhere. So yeah.
Is there a video for it or anything?
I don't think that there was uh like an actual video. I think that there's like fan lyric videos out there on YouTube. But I do encourage people to go down the Rachel, and it's Rachael Yamagata. I do encourage people to go down the YouTube rabbit hole because there's so much stuff out there. Like, God, now I'm going to go on a tangent. So I first, I first heard of Rachel because of a local band out here in Chicago called Bumpus. And I first met them, like legitimately met them when I was away at NIU. We had gone out on like a random Wednesday night, and we went to this bar called Otto's, and Bumpus just happened to be playing there that night. I bought their CDs. I really liked their sound. It was like a fusion of funk and rock and jazz, just like all mixed together. But Rachel, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's no offense to anybody else in the band, but she totally stole the show. And they wound up actually coming back to one of our friends' apartments that night, and they hung out with us. And this memory that I have of Rachel, and this is 18 years ago now. She's just sitting in the corner on one of the chairs, and she's just scribbling lyrics into her little notebook that she had with her. So that's my first introduction to her ever. And then I started following the band around, like in the Chicago area. And when she actually got signed to the major label back in 2002, I auditioned for Bumpus, like to sing with the band after she left.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, that's my tangent. But yeah, I love me some Rachel. So
Very nice. Very nice.
yeah, thank you. It's your turn now. I'll shut up.
All right. Um, so so because I'm scattered today, I had this one I wanted to mention, and I'm going to tell you where this one came from. One of our listeners.
Really?
Yeah. So a couple of guys at work have been awesome, and they're listening to our podcast.
Oh.
And two of the guys, they were talking. They're like, "Oh, what's going to be your next episode?" And I told them, I'm like, "This is going to be cover songs." They're like, "Oh, really? What are you going to talk about?" I'm like, "I can't tell you that. You got to listen to the show." And so one of the ones that was brought up was Billie Jean by Chris Cornell.
I never heard that. What?
Well, you know what? Here's the crazy thing. So, oh, by the way, Larry, thank you for the suggestion.
Thank you, Larry.
I told him I would, give him a little shout.
Hell yeah.
So I listened to the Billie Jean version, and man, I didn't really like it. So sorry, Larry. But But that also brought up a great cover that Chris Cornell does. Nothing Compares to You.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and I have to tell you this, so you know, because they did that live on Sirius. My friend Keaton Simons played guitar on that version.
Nice.
Yes. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
please go on, but I had to tell you, I'm like, oh my God, yes, I
No,
have a connection to this.
that's really good. So I love this version of this song. Like the Sinead O'Connor version is fine. And like Prince originally wrote the song, and he wrote it for another group of his.
Really?
Yes, I might be wrong in saying the name of this group, but I believe it was called The Family.
Okay.
But maybe that could be a fun fact next week. Um, I just, but an interesting note is after Prince passed away, obviously a lot of people are doing their tributes to him. And we talked about Chris Stapleton.
Yes.
Chris does basically a perfect version of the song to the way that Chris did it. They're both named Chris. Chris Stapleton does a version that's basically the same as Chris Cornell's version.
Really?
It's phenomenal. And there is a video on YouTube on it, and they turn the stage lights all purple. And it's just, it's a great listen.
I'm totally going to have to listen to that now.
Yeah. And like, if you really, I mean, if you listen to it, like, Cornell's voice is very close to Stapleton's. They both got that extra gravel in there,
Yeah.
little scratchy voice,
Yeah.
It's great. Both versions are awesome.
Huh. I'm going to have to check that out now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to check out Billie Jean, though. Sorry, Larry, because if Matt didn't like it.
Yeah. I can't wait till we get to this episode now. I'm just going to give you a little insight of this conversation.
Do
He's
it.
like, yeah, I was listening to your first episode there. I listened to the 3-minute, intro, and I was listening. I got about 15 minutes into the first episode. Let me tell you, your friend swears a lot. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, Larry, I promise you, this is nothing. It could get a lot worse. I'm trying to reserve myself, I promise.
Yes, I told him that as well.
I'm trying, I really am. But that's why we put the explicit mark on it for our podcast, so people know that I like to say fuck a lot or something,
Yeah, I mean, here and there,
Sentence enhancers. Sentence enhancers.
Fucking sentence enhancers.
Oh God, I love that. I love that pick, though. I do love that pick of Nothing Compares to You, because it's funny. I actually had that on my list as well, but I had Sinead O'Connor's version because, again, much to your point, like Prince originally wrote that song, but
Right.
I do prefer Cornell's version to hers.
Yep. Yeah, I like it a lot. The Chris Stapleton version, check that one out too.
I will, for sure. Nice.
What do you got next for me?
So this is one of my favorite songs. The Sundays, a band from like the 80s/90s, they covered the song Wild Horses that was originally done by the Rolling Stones.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when I first heard this song was in the movie Fear with Reese Witherspoon and Marky Mark.
I remember the movie.
Yes. They definitely play the song in the movie, and it's just, now, if people haven't heard the original Stones version, totally go check it out. But
If you haven't, why, and what's wrong with you?
well, at this, I mean, I've even seen them live.
So there's another version of this by Adam Levine. If you think that is an Adam Levine song, you're dead to me.
No, I like Adam Levine, though. I didn't realize that. I don't care for Maroon 5 so much, but I like his solo stuff. I'm a little bit more akin to.
Right. Yeah, his version of Wild Horses is, that's my description for things that I don't really like, by the way. So
really,
you know what, Wild Horses is an interesting pick just because it has been redone a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a favorite cover version of that, I definitely want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, like the Sundays version, I just really appreciate the woman's voice. I can't recall her name off the top of my head right now, but I really appreciate her voice. Whereas like Mick Jagger, you know, he doesn't have a pretty girl voice, so I can't really I can't really give him a whole lot. You know, I give him credit for writing a beautiful song, but I can't I can't say that his voice is better than this gal in this song. Oh, cool. And I've got a little spider friend here in the house with me that's rappelling off the ceiling and going behind my bed in the bedroom. Cool. I'm glad I didn't scream out loud at that one. Anyway, tiny little detour there.
Burn
But yeah.
everything.
um, yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the Stones version, but like you said, like I want to hear other people's versions of Wild Horses that they like, because I don't even know that I'm familiar with any other versions of the song, to be honest.
Oh, there's a lot.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of them. I obviously not popular versions. Um, and I don't know if I've really heard one done well. Um, I'm thinking. I believe the Adam Levine one is done with Alicia Keys.
Really?
If it was just her, we'd probably be gold.
I concur. Okay, I think that you're onto something.
Maybe it's just Adam Levine. I don't know.
Like I said, he's not the worst. He's not my favorite. You know, I could I could do without Maroon 5. I never really cared for them. but yeah, the Sundays though, that's the version I'm going to stick with. I think it's the best version of that song.
Very cool.
Yeah. Now it's your turn.
All right, so my next one, I'm a little worried about the whole tangent, scattered brain type thing going on here, because I wrote down. So all right, I'm just gonna go right into it. The next one is "Hurt" by Johnny Cash.
Damn it, that's on my list too. I love it. High fives across the computer waves.
So a Nine Inch Nails song. Now I know I'm not a Nine Inch Nails fan, but this song in particular, is a gorgeous song. Now there is another version out there I think we do need to mention.
Okay.
Kermit the Frog.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that.
Yes. So I guarantee this is going to be on our webpage or on our Facebook page. I'm pretty sure we already scheduled this video to post at some point. Man, but the Kermit the Frog version's great too.
I can safely say I've never heard that version.
You haven't heard the Kermit the Frog version?
No, I knew it existed, but I've never heard it.
Oh, come on. So it's Kermit, and it's a full video. And he's doing the Johnny Cash version of the song. And it's just like, Johnny Cash, when you listen to him sing the song, you can hear the pain, right? Let me tell you, it ain't even being green. This is a good freaking song too.
Even the Trent Reznor version, I feel like you can hear the pain too, just like his voice inflection and all of that stuff.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So my tangent going on with this song, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, but Rick Rubin was the producer of this song.
Okay.
I had mentioned in a previous episode this is what I'm going to try not to do is go deep into like hip hop past. But I briefly mentioned, man, I'm blanking, Run DMC and them coming up. Well, Rick Rubin, who is a long-haired white guy, was a big, huge part of that.
Really?
Yes. Rick Rubin, if you know his name, he was behind a lot of big bands, like hard rock bands, metal bands, and he is like basically a producer who can do no wrong.
Right.
And he was part of making Run DMC what they became.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. Yes.
Yeah. So, not going deep into that. But interestingly enough, the album that "Hurt" comes from was all covers. Or, well, I should say mostly covers. I don't believe they were all covers, but mostly cover songs. It was called American 4, The Man Comes Around.
Oh, okay. It's because these were wasn't this like part of the stuff that was released in like the very early 2000s?
Yeah, so this, I think the album came out in 2002.
Okay.
It was the last album that was released before Cash passed away.
Yep.
And he had backing vocals from like Fiona Apple, Don Henley, and also Nick Cave from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Love it. Love Nick Cave.
So yeah, so this album's pretty big, and like Hurt was probably the one that came out of this, but there's so many other good songs on just that album alone.
Sure.
It's great, and
Huh.
I had heard about this in the past, but I never went back to go listen to it, to the the other songs on the album, and so I did that when I was going through this. I'm like, I gotta listen to all these songs now, so I ended up listening to the entire album.
Nice.
Yeah, and then, like, so I'm listening to it as I'm doing my podcast research here. That's what I had in the background. My kids are in the living room. They're like, "What the hell are you listening to?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Johnny Cash. Come sit and listen." They're like, "That's all right. We're gonna watch our Teen Titans."
Oh, I love it.
I'm like, "This is classic." Yeah.
You won't understand, you little whippersnappers.
Well, that and they think I'm chronically depressed now,
Oh,
but like, Mom, I think something's wrong with Dad. He's listening to some sad ass music over there.
God, if only they would have heard my catalog in high school from time to time. Jesus. I like that pick though. I like that. We definitely shared that pick for sure because that was 100% on my list.
So yeah, the Kermit the Frog thing, it's going to be on the Facebook page. I guarantee it.
Okay. Okay. Then people need to pay attention to the Facebook page and look for that. And I guess I'll have to watch too.
Yeah, you will.
I will. Okay. Next on my list, so this is an interesting one because they're actually friends in real life and they've collaborated. Tori Amos did a cover of Smells Like, well, I say our friends in real life.
Oh,
They knew,
come on.
they knew each other. They knew each other. But she's also friends with Trent Reznor too. So like it's this weird. Anyway, she
I know
covered
what
Smells.
song you're going to, and I cannot believe you're saying this. Go
No,
ahead.
it's a great cover. She covered Smells Like Teen Spirit.
No,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
I know you did. No, oh,
Well, and I'm a huge Tori Amos fan, and I have been since teenagedom. And that version of the song, I love it. I think it's friggin' fantastic. I think it's a really good version of that song. She does something completely different to that song. She turns it upside down on its head. She slows it down, and the way she delivers it is so not Kurt Cobain.
because Dana, no one is Kurt Cobain.
Well, of course, but the angst that he had when when he made that song, like she clearly didn't do that. She just took it and spun it on its head upside down, and that's what I really appreciate about that song. I'm not saying that the song itself that I love, Smells Like Teen Spirit, it's so fucking played out at this point, and I think it's just because it was pinnacle during our formative years, and we all got so numb to it. But I love her version. I am so in love with her version of that song.
Man, I wish we were in the same room right now because we are clearly not thinking the same thing.
What kind of bullshit do you have to say to that pick?
That version sucks.
What?
Yes. I don't hate on Tori Amos, but when I heard that version, and I literally, I'm like, I saw that, I'm like, I'm gonna listen. I've heard this version before, but I'm like, I'm gonna listen to this again for the sake of the podcast. And I'm like, nope, I'm not writing that one down. Nope.
Well, you don't have to because I'm the fan of it.
You could be the fan of it then, fine.
All right,
I'm over here going nuts over here. I'm like about to hit the table, but I don't want the sound to pick up on the podcast. So I'm like, no, this is bad.
And I could see your face in my mind's eye, like contorting and getting pissed off. So
I'm animated over here. You can't see it. I'm getting all animated like, God damn
All right, lady. So what's your next pick?
it. So I'm going to segue something real quick because
Okay.
it's a good segue, I think, right now.
Okay.
So I have not listened to this version. And it's not like really one of my picks. I just thought it was very interesting. And
Okay.
I got four that I'm going to tell you about that I just think are very interesting
Okay.
cover songs. Sturgill Simpson, In Bloom by Nirvana.
Okay. I can get with that. There's another Sturgill Simpson cover that I like, and I can't remember the name of the damn song. I'm sorry. Continue.
Okay. Smashing Pumpkins, Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
That was on my list also.
Okay, that one I do like that one a lot. Another interesting one.
Okay.
The song "Bitches Ain't Shit" by Ben Folds.
Yes, when he does the
Smith.
yes. No, was it Ben Folds or was it Ben Folds 5?
It's listed as Ben Folds.
Is it? Okay.
It could have been when he was still 5.
Okay. I couldn't recall because I am also a huge Ben Folds fan and I've seen him several times and I love him with all of my heart. So good pick on that.
And another rap song,
Okay.
Gin and Juice by the Gourds.
I don't even know who that is. The band?
I don't either. But here's the interesting thing. I heard this version. God, it has to be at least 10 years old. I heard this version, and for the longest goddamn time, I thought it was John Popper.
Really? Really?
Well, so it was like back in like the Napster and Kazam days, and what was the other one called, where you downloaded stuff.
Oh,
The
so it
internet
was
was downloading for free.
yeah.
And this version came up, and it was listed. The name that came up with the track was "Gin and Juice" by John Popper. And so forever, I thought it was John Popper. So when I thought about this, because I came across the Sturgill Simpson one, and I'm like, oh man, that's an interesting one. I want to find some other interesting ones. And I thought about it. I'm like, I have this on my iPod that's just sitting somewhere, you know. And so I looked it up, and I'm like, it's not John Popper. It's some band called the Gourds, but it's a great version.
Are you sure that he wasn't part of that? Like, was it a side project maybe?
It could have been.
I don't know.
I mean, if you look it up, I'm pretty sure you can find it on Spotify. And it's just listed as Gord. Maybe it was. I mean, reach out to the guy. He likes us.
John Popper, you know what? I'm looking right now at the band, the Gourds. I'm looking at their Wikipedia page, and it looks like they are from Austin, Texas. But they went on a hiatus in 2013, so they have not been active since. And it does not look like anything with John Popper, but I'll have to check that out, though.
Listen to it, and you're going to be like, that's freaking John Popper.
Well, I will totally listen to that. I have to kind of backtrack for a second, too, because you mentioned Sturgill Simpson, and I adore him. Yeah. The other song that I was thinking of that he covered that I love is called The Promise. And it was originally recorded by a band named When in Rome back in the late 80s. And I can't remember what movies this song has been featured in. And I'm so leery to play a clip just because, like, you know, like all the whole music rights bullshit and whatever. But
we have a way around that, by the way.
Really? What's that?
Well, I don't want you keep going, and I'll tell you when you're done.
Okay.
I don't interrupt your story.
That's okay. But I didn't know a ton about Sturgill Simpson. Like, I started getting into him, and then I was like watching his NPR Tiny Desk concert, and then I started getting into Chris. I totally love those. They're one of my favorite things. But then I started, like, I watched his, and then I watched Chris Stapleton, and then I went back to Sturgill, and his voice is so authentic. And when I saw that he covered this song, The Promise, I was like, what? That was one of my favorite songs, like, back when I was a kid, too. So, yeah, it's a great, great version of the song. And I love the original, too, but the way that Sturgill does it, like, because I think that album that even In Bloom is on, I think it's all like a cover album, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe, because I was just about to say he does a bunch of different cover songs, and I think it was an album.
Okay, okay, good. So my spidey senses were on that. Okay, good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how do we get around that, by the way?
So I was going to mention it at the end of the episode. We'll just talk about it now. So as we talk about music on this podcast, I have been creating a list on Spotify, a playlist of
Yay.
different bands that we've talked about, and in particular the songs that we're talking about.
I love it.
So it's compiling the list right now, and after this episode, I'm going to have a lot more work to do on that. But once we get there, I will post it onto our Facebook page, and you guys can follow our Journey to the Middle playlist.
Yes.
And I'll keep adding to it as we do more stuff. So
that's awesome.
So then we can kind of attach the music to us that we cannot play on here because people want money for their music.
Right. That's awesome. Yay. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I do stuff.
You do stuff.
All right. I believe it is my turn.
I was just gonna say, I think it's your turn. I don't remember whose turn it is, but at this point, I don't care. Let's just keep talking about it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do two because they're by the same artist, and I'm gonna throw it out there. I did not know that these were cover songs.
Okay.
I Love Rock and Roll.
You what?
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Okay. What?
Originally done by a band called the Arrows.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And Crimson and Clover by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
That's for sure. I knew for sure that's a cover, but I Love Rock and Roll is a cover?
Yeah, it was another band called the Arrows. Don't know who they are. Doesn't matter anymore. No one does. And Joan Jett took the song and just made it popular.
Now, question though about Crimson and Clover, and I could be off on this. Was that her, or was that her time with the Runaways?
Joan Jett is listed as Joan Jett. And I will double check, but the original band was Tommy James and the Shondells.
That's it. Okay, I couldn't, because in my head I'm like, I know it's a band from the '60s-ish era, and I couldn't remember who originally made the song because I'm hearing in my mind's ears the original version as we talk about this.
Yeah. So it was Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
It was. Oh, really? Okay.
And,
It had to have been shortly after her time with the Runaways then.
Yeah.
Interesting. Those are really and I of course I love Joan Jett anyway, so I like those picks.
Yeah, I did not know either of those were cover songs, and
so I did not know I Love Rock and Roll. That's news to me though.
Yeah.
The Arrows, huh? Well, fuck those guys.
Yeah, they must be really old. I'm not even going to research that. Probably not even on the internet.
I wonder though if they're even still around and they're like pissed off that that Joan Jett made that song popular. It sounds like they were.
You know what? Here's the deal. It's probably whoever. I'm going to assume guys, just for the sake of the joke. But there's probably some guy walking around and be like, "That's my song." And they're like, "No, man, that's Joan Jett's song." He's like, "No, really, that's my song. I was in this band called the Arrows. I Love Rock and Roll. That's my song."
Well, right, I'm looking. It's a group of dudes.
Yeah.
It is a group of dudes, and they were only together for 3 years. So, I mean, I hope that they're loving the royalties.
They really missed out. Yeah, they probably got royalties. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like, so this is interesting. So I am looking because now I'm curious who the fuck this band is. But there I said fuck again. Oh, and again. They charted in 74 or 75 with I Love Rock and Roll. But in the UK, they were a British band.
Okay, makes sense.
So, yeah.
So we steal things.
Pardon me?
We steal things. Television shows, music.
Well, it looks like also this is kind of like the sad panda bear. 2 of the original founding members passed away. There's only one surviving member left of the trio.
Well, now I feel bad. Thank you.
You're welcome. Your little dose of reality for the evening. Well, I like those picks. I think that they're good picks.
All right.
So I actually have a couple. So as I've said, I already am like obscure with just all of my music that I like. These are not necessarily obscure picks, but Jeff Buckley's cover of Hallelujah, that's the song that Leonard Cohen originally wrote.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Buckley fan. Like, he's just R.I.P., but his voice will forever just like, that voice is just incredible always. I don't care who you are. That voice is just amazing. And his cover of Hallelujah, like it's revered everywhere.
I,
Anytime.
I think that's probably like a number one for most people.
Yeah, and yeah, I won't say it's my number one cover song pick, just because I appreciate all of the music that Buckley made, period. I like that he covered that song, but I think that he has other songs that are even better. But this cover song 100% is a beautiful display of his vocal range and just the artist that he was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I really appreciate that song. But this one, though, I don't know if you even knew this. You might have known this, who originally made the song. There's an artist named Gary Jules, and he covered the song Mad World, I think in the early 2000s. I think. It might have even been in the 90s, but I believe it was the early 2000s. And the band who originally recorded that song was Tears for Fears.
Mm-hmm.
And they recorded it in the 80s, like the mid 80s, I believe. And it was a way poppier version than what Gary Jules recorded.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have to fact check myself because I can't remember. I feel like Mad World was featured in a movie. And it's gonna bug the shit out of me. It was Donnie Darko.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, so that was super early 2000s because Donnie Darko was what, 02 or 03? Oh, 01?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so those are two picks that that I really, really appreciate.
Mad World, there's another version that I actually really like, by Adam Lambert.
I love Adam Lambert.
That guy has got a voice, man, and he does a great version of Mad World. He originally did it on American Idol.
Did he
Um,
really?
yeah, yeah, he did it on there. And at the time, I was watching it. I was just like, Jesus, this guy's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there is a recorded version out there. Take a listen to it.
I'll totally have to listen to that. Plus, I like I said, I love Adam Lambert anyway. I will definitely check that out.
Nice. On the note of Hallelujah,
Yes.
like I was saying, um, it's probably a lot of people's number one pick, but I also think probably a lot of people think that's his original song.
They totally do.
Yeah.
People rarely give Leonard Cohen. I shouldn't say rarely because I guess I'm like a little bit of a music snob when it comes to that, but I don't know that Leonard gets the props that he should get for that song.
I don't think Leonard Cohen gets the props for a lot of his songs
That's fair.
because Leonard Cohen has been highly covered.
He has.
So,
And so has that song, Hallelujah.
mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a very covered song. I think Rufus Wainwright did a cover of that song as well, and I'm sure there's hundreds of other people who have as well, but I prefer Buckley's version, and I think most people, when they think of the song, that's who they think of. So yeah, so now it's your turn. I'm going to volley the ball back into your court.
All right, I'm going to go with one that I have loved probably since it came out. If
Okay.
I might not even been alive when this came out, but I'm pretty sure it was in the 80s. The song "Tainted Love" by Soft Cell.
Yes. Who covered it, or who covered it? Who recorded it originally?
Originally, Gloria Jones. It was a '60s Motown hit.
What?
Yes.
Stop.
And which I did not know. It was news to me when I came across the song. I'm like, oh God, I love that song. Every time the song comes out, I'm like singing along with it, and just and then when I was almost disappointed that it was a cover, but
A Motown song, though, huh?
it's a Motown song. I think, I don't know. You could try to find it to hear the original one, but I don't think it matters.
Well, that was
Maybe
going
I
to be.
like Motown, but I'm not going to search it out.
Well, that was going to be my question to you too, whether or not you actually listened to the original version.
I haven't. I don't want to ruin the song for me. This is like, so there's a few songs that, like, for me as a kid, were like, oh, this is a great song, and like young kid, and this was one of them, "Tainted Love." I Want My MTV, which is lyrics I didn't understand when I first heard this thing's parents. Um, Song does not play well nowadays.
No, it doesn't.
My family thought it was funny that I would sing that song, and now I know what they were making me sing.
Oh my gosh. That's like, that just reminds me of like the picture I posted on Facebook a couple weeks ago of me sitting in my Big Bird chair when I was like 2 or 3, chugging backwash out of an old style can, and like, my family encouraging me to do that because, I didn't know what it meant.
The things our parents think are funny, right?
Right.
And then they take pictures, and now we got Facebook for the world to see.
Oh my God. Okay. Tana, I don't feel, maybe I think I knew it was a cover song, but like I said, I did not know it was a Motown song. I wonder, see, but this is the danger zone that we get into when we start talking about this, because then I want to research everything and find out if that song charted back in the 60s or not.
Well, that would be a good question.
I'm very curious. That's something that we could put a pin in though and check later, I'm sure. We could do follow.
We're going to remember that to do that. Sure. Yeah, good.
I mean, I will, because I'll get bored like when I can't sleep after a long day of work, and I'll just start Googling shit. So, I'll find out in a few weeks for us.
So the Gloria Jones version is on Spotify.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So,
I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Probably.
All right. I have a few more. I don't know if you have a few more still.
I do have a few more. I have at least 4. But there's also like one other thing I want to talk about that's related to cover songs. But yeah, so that's what I got left.
Okay, I'm going to do like a quick scroll down my list because I have 5 left. Right. And then, because I figure we're coming close to like the end here, right? So, because then I want to get back to, I'm sorry, I feel bad. Like I feel like I keep talking over you, and that's not my intent.
It's because we can't see each other.
I know. That's the bummer part about this. Well, I promise.
Normally Dana can look at me and be like, he's gonna say something. And I'm sitting in my chair like, I got something to say. But we can't do that right now.
I promise it'll be better next time we record, I promised.
No, it's great. We're doing fine.
All good. Okay, so then I'll just quickly roll down my list, and then I want to hear yours, and then I want to hear though like what you have related to cover songs, because I'm interested to hear this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Social Distortion, Ring of Fire, their cover of Johnny Cash's song.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Love Social D anyway, and I think that like their cover of that song is just fantastic. Van Halen, You Really Got Me. The original, of course, was done by the Kinks, and I feel like Van Halen stayed pretty true to the original. But they 80s, was it 70s? Maybe they 70s or 80s it up a little bit. But I do like that cover song. This next one though, Guns N' Roses, Live and Let Die.
Okay, you took one of mine.
So the Beatles originally recorded that song. Well, or was it? No, it was Paul McCartney and Wings.
It was McCartney and Wings.
That's it. It was. Okay.
Yeah. Before you move to your next one, because it seems that the Guns N' Roses' most popular cover song is Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Yes.
And I 100% agree that Live and Let Die is the better cover.
Thank you. Knocking on Heaven's Door is a good cover, but I 100% agree with you. Live and Let Die is way better of a cover. And also too, to note, after like doing this list, and I went back and I listened to both Use Your Illusion albums like the next day. Did you really?
I had to. After listening to Live and Let Die, I'm like, oh man, I want to listen to the rest of this now.
I love it. And
so if I was a little aggressive at work last week, that's why. It's because I was listening to that.
Sorry, Larry. No, I love that. See, in this, like, even talking about this stuff, it's prompting me to like go back and listen to stuff again too. So like, of course, I listened to Buckley's album Grace, because that's the the album that Hallelujah is on. And, you know, I went and I started listening to Rachel Yamagata's stuff again. Not that she's ever far from my playlist.
Mhm.
But these next couple of songs, I'm a huge fan of this next band anyway, and I have been for years. Counting Crows did a cover of, ironically, another Joni Mitchell song called Big Yellow Taxi.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
hold
I'm not,
on.
here's, we talked about doing an episode on cover songs. Doesn't mean I like the song or that I
Okay.
like the Counting Crows version at all. But it was just, it was interesting to me because clearly I've heard both versions, and I don't, because who is it? I think it's Vanessa Carlton who
No, it's the other one.
was it Michelle Branch?
Michelle Branch, yes. That
Okay.
one.
She's the one who does the chick vocals on Big Yellow Taxi.
That's my problem with this version.
Is it really?
There's no reason she should be on this song at all. She really contributes nothing to the song.
Actually, I'm gonna fun fact us. It was Vanessa Carlton.
Was it?
It was. Yeah. I always mix those two broads up anyway.
They look the same.
And they sound the same.
Cool. That's probably the more important one.
but no, back to your point though, I agree. I think it was unnecessary to have her on the song, and I think that's what kind of killed it for me.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Counting Crows.
Totally.
Like August and Everything After and me and you have talked about this before briefly.
Yes.
That I believe that album, it stands the test of time. You can still listen to that album. There's, I think, one song on there that I don't like, but the rest of it's great.
Mr. Jones.
I like Mr. Jones.
See, I 100% agree with you. I think that August and Everything After is a completely timeless album. And I remember being a teenager. Obviously, we were both teenagers when that album came out, and it was just perfect. And now Mr. Jones, I just don't care for that song. And I think it's symptomatic of they played it everywhere and they still play it everywhere. That's like the Cure, Friday I'm in Love. And I don't really care for that song anymore either.
That's fair.
You know.
Anna Begins is the one song I don't like on the album.
Oh, you don't like that song? Oh, man.
It's whatever.
You know what? It's not. I'll give that to you. I still am a huge fan of it. But I get it. It's all good. I'll let you have that one.
Moving on, because we tangented again.
That's all good. My last song that I have on my list is Pink's cover of Me and Bobby McGee by Janis Joplin. And
I can listen to Pink sing anything.
Oh God, she could, exactly. Like what do they say? Like, what's the phrase? Like, she could sing me the phone book and I would be happy.
Yeah.
She's stellar. And plus, I am a big Janis Joplin fan as well. And so her voice, Janis had a very distinct voice, and that woman could just kick ass and rock out. And Pink is, now her style's a little bit different, but she also has a very gritty voice. Mm-hmm. And it totally, like, her version of that song just, it almost brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah, I love Pink nowadays, like, not, getting away from some of the dance music.
Yes.
And some of the stuff she's doing more or less in the last couple of years or whatever it is. It's just great.
Agreed. Completely. And I have only had the opportunity to see her once so far. I saw her back in 2007, I think it was, when she opened for Justin Timberlake on the Future Sex Love Sounds tour. And she was phenomenal. I mean, I liked her. Actually, no, I take that back. That was the second time that I saw her. I forgot. We saw her at the B96 B Bash back in like 99 or 2000, I think.
Oh man, you're dating yourself. B96 B Bash.
I know. I think they still have it though.
I think they do. I don't listen to B96 anymore.
I don't
probably still do.
I don't.
Eddie and Jobo, like, come on, guys.
I haven't listened to it in years, but yeah, I love her. I think she's fantastic, and though, like, I feel good ending on that note, like ending my list on that note, because I really love her music, period. But that cover song just totally sticks with me.
All right.
Yeah.
So you took one of mine.
I did.
So we talked about the Guns N' Roses. It's My Life by No Doubt. Um,
Okay. Talk Talk was the original artist or
yeah,
band.
1984. Um, and all right. So the next one is like I'm a big Petty fan. Um, John Mayer does a live version of Free Fallin'.
What?
Yeah. Oh, you haven't heard it? Oh,
No.
so like any type of cover from Petty, I'm pretty uh judgmental about, and I've heard some pretty bad covers of Petty. Um, but John Mayer does it justice. I
Really?
really think it's great. It's a live version too.
Huh. I'll have to check it out though, because I honestly, like, I stopped listening to John Mayer, um, oh, probably when he started doing Grateful Dead stuff.
Fair.
I
Yeah, I'm
mean,
kind of waiting for that to end.
yeah, and no offense to them, like John Mayer, like I've seen him a couple times in concert, long time ago, but I'll have to check that out though. I'll definitely have to check that out.
On a note, he is coming out with an album fairly soon. He's on tour of new stuff, not Grateful Dead.
Okay, thank
So,
you. I will definitely
so,
check that out then.
so you know, I mean, something new. Um, and so that was pretty much it for mine because you took my good ones. But the other, so I wanted to mention one thing is, I think it was this past summer, the cover of Africa by Weezer.
Okay,
So not that I love it or anything,
sure.
but Weezer has an entire album of covers that they put out, and it's the Teal album.
Hmm.
And it's all covers. And the crazy thing about this, and I don't know how you feel about Weezer or anything, but the crazy thing about this is every song sounds exactly like the original.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. I'm actually glad you brought that up. Um, and I don't want to cut you off. Please continue your thought because I have feelings about this.
No, go for it. Go for it. What do you got?
So I am a fan of Weezer. I have been since we were kids, but I did not care for this cover album at all. And it's exactly for the reason that you stated, because every cover song sounds like the original. And,
Right.
thank you for re-recording a song that sounds like the original, and that's cool. Like, I appreciate you guys, doing that. But again, at the same time, like, make it your own. I would rather listen to the shitty flute version of Africa. And if nobody knows what shitty flute is of Africa, I will humbly educate you on the page at some point this week.
Sure.
I would rather listen to that than Weezer's quote unquote cover version. And I hear people like jerking off about it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And I'm like, no.
It's a carbon copy of the songs. It
Yes.
really is.
Yes.
I mean, what else is on there? No Scrubs, Billie Jean, Stand by Me, and it's like just go listen to the original.
Wait, no Scrubs is on there?
Yes, No Scrubs by TLC is on there.
Oh my God. See, and the thing is, Matt, like, because I kept hearing that their covers were actually just like remakes of the song. Let's just fucking call it what it is. It's not even a cover, it's a remake of the song. That's why I didn't even listen to the
It's a
album.
tribute. It's a tribute song.
Oh, good call. That's a way better way to look at it.
Yeah.
Man, I'm
So I just wanted to mention that because of Weezer putting this out. There was another song, a Queen song that got covered by I want to say 5 Seconds of Summer. Um, and it sounds a lot like the original as well. It's like they did the same thing Weezer did.
see, and I don't get that. Like, be creative like Johnny Cash or Sturgill Simpson. If you are going to take a song and cover it, then do it justice and make it your own. Do something like, speed it up, slow it down, add a didgeridoo to the song. Like, I don't know. Make it your own though. I just like I said, I have feelings about this stuff.
Yeah.
I have feelings about it. And yeah, Weezer to me, I saw that. When did I see them? I think it was 2 years ago at Riot Fest. And I had seen them a couple times before that. Um, and everybody's like got their shorts in a knot about this upcoming tour at Wrigley Field with them and Fall Out Boy and Green Day.
Mhm.
And that's awesome. I've seen all three of those acts separately, and I have no desire to see all three of them at Wrigley Field. Um, and I don't know. Maybe it's just my assumption, but I feel like Rivers is just kind of, I don't know. I feel like he's got to start doing something else
Yeah,
soon.
well, so on all three of those bands that you just mentioned, they're going to be playing Wrigley next year, which is like almost a year away.
Yep.
They all came out with brand new songs today.
Did they
Uh,
really?
we did. So I'm going to say this about those songs. The Green Day song is garbage. The Fall Out Boy song is pretty close to being garbage. And the Weezer song is really good.
The Weezer song is good, huh?
The Weezer song is pretty good. I like it.
Okay. I'll give it a whirl then. Like, is it? It's not like Beverly Hills shitty, is it?
No, it's it's almost on this trend of the cover album in a way because it kind of sounds 80s.
But I can get into that though. Like, as long as it's not another cover song.
Yeah, it came out. I believe it was today. It might have been yesterday, but it's called "The End of the Game."
Okay.
Yeah, check it out. It's their new song. I do like it.
I'll check that out for sure. But much to your point, I have no desire to check out Green Day's music. To me, like, I stopped liking their music after the Dookie album.
So pretty much like right away.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, they had a couple of albums before that, when they were still like up and coming,
Right.
which I still prefer, those in Dookie compared to anything else that they release. Like, I don't know. I just think that, I get it. Bands have to evolve and they have to change, but I feel like they changed too much. There might be hints of like their punk roots here and there, but for my taste, they changed too much. And Fall Out Boy, fuck those guys. I never liked them anyway.
So don't bother with the new song. Like I said, it's garbage anyway.
Noted. I will definitely not bother with that song.
All right. So
I was just gonna reiterate how much I can't stand Fall Out Boy. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
all right. That's all right. All right. So the last thing I just want to mention real quick is there are cover songs galore in the world of YouTube.
Oh God, yes. Yes.
And like honestly, you can pick out one song that just came out yesterday and just find a million covers on it. It's crazy. But I want to say a couple things about it. There are some good ones out there that I'm really into. So there's one called or one by a guy named Dan Henig, Henig.
Okay.
He does a cover of Get Low. And he does this cover in a
What?
coffee shop.
Wait. Back that up. What?
Get Low does the version in a coffee shop with people watching, including elderly and young, and he's just doing this song, lyrics and all, him and a guitar, and it's a good cover.
I'm chuckling because I'm just like in my head. I'm like, how does that? Okay, all right.
Wait, I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna do the lyrics here.
No, totally fair. Totally.
But if you don't know the song "Get Low," go watch it and then be like, oh, then you have your reaction. But if you know the song, then you already know what I'm talking about.
Hence my reaction. I'm like, wait, what?
There's another great band, and I think they do great covers. Although they've been around a while, and the act is almost getting old because a lot of their covers are starting to sound the same. But they're called Boyce Avenue.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so they're a European band. They do have originals, but they are popular from their covers.
Okay.
And the one cover, if you haven't seen this one cover by them, go check it out. Fast Car.
Of the Tracy Chapman song.
Yes, Tracy Chapman. I love that song. They do a great version of it with another YouTube person that I'm going to talk about.
Justin Bieber.
No, I'm not talking about Justin Bieber. Tina Granis. She does a cover of she's with Boyce Avenue on Fast Car, but she also does a cover of Can't Help Falling in Love. She does an amazing version of this song, which was actually on the movie Crazy Rich Asians.
Really?
Yes. When I heard that, I'm like, I think that's Tina Granis, because like she's signed by a record company at this point, but I originally saw her with the previous song I just talked about, Fast Car, and I was like, oh, I checked out some of her music, and she's great. But now she's starting to blow up. That song has been on her YouTube channel for like 10 years.
Oh wow, really?
somewhere in the neighborhood of, yeah. And it got picked up, and it's, a big song in that movie.
Huh. Okay. I mean, that's totally something that I would check out.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Um, last one. The band Walk Off the Earth. Have you run into them yet?
I don't know. No, not at all.
Okay, so the one to check out with them, it's called Somebody That I Used to Know. And so if you're going to check them out, just look up, I believe it's called Five People, One Guitar.
Okay.
So they are doing this song. There's 5 of them, and they're playing this song on a single guitar.
What? That's
So
awesome.
they each have a part of the guitar that they're playing on. One guy's just drumming back on it, and a guy's playing up on the head there, and another guy's playing a different part of the guitar. It's crazy. Their videos are like OK Go videos. They're really innovative, and they're really cool.
Really?
And they also do some of their own original music, which is actually pretty good.
So I like that because now granted there's a few of them in that group that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But it reminds me of what Shaky Graves used to be when he first started out, before like what he's become now. But that's awesome. I'll totally have to check that out. And I really like that you've offered to put together a playlist for like
I have so much work to do now.
I know, but I think that this will be awesome for people. It'll also give people context. I mean, and feel free to send us suggestions of other songs from artists that you like, that you would like to have us throw on there, because maybe it's stuff that we haven't heard of, or maybe it's crap that we just don't like, but we want to hear from you anyway.
Well, and I'll tell you this too. Yeah, I've heard the Nirvana version of the David Bowie song. I think it's like The Man Who Sold the World. I think that's like,
yeah.
I think it's like number 1, and that's why I didn't talk about it. So we've heard that song. We got it.
Agreed with Matt. Be very careful with what you send us. I don't want to have to send people mocking responses.
Well, we'll do it right on the pod. Next episode, you give me a shitty.
I mean, I will call your ass out. Maybe I won't call your first name out if you don't want me to, but I'll definitely call out like your handle if that's what you prefer. But
right.
Yeah, don't send us shitty shit.
Shitty shit.
No, I like this. This was awesome because it helped bring me down memory lane for some stuff too.
Yeah. So yeah, this was awesome, and it went as long as I thought it would. Yes. When I put this list together, I'm like, man, I wrote down a lot.
We definitely did do a lot, but you know what? I mean, this will be our longest episode to date, and that's okay. I mean, we tend to keep it around an hour, maybe a little bit over. So this is not terrible. I'm good with it.
We cry, we babble, that's what happens.
We do babble, but you people like it, so that's good. So just, keep listening and enjoying our babble.
Yeah, so we'll wrap this up. So get on the Facebook page, check out our posts, like the posts, get on whatever you listen to us on. Spotify, iTunes, what's some other ones, Dana? We got like a bunch of them now.
Yeah, Blurberry.
Yeah. We're all over the place. So check us out.
We're like a bad disease and you can't get rid of us. We're just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. So yeah, check us out.
We're a happy disease though.
We are a happy disease. And happily enough, this disease started their own Facebook page, Journey to the Middle, on Facebook. Maybe we'll consider other social media outlets, but Facebook is good for now because then we can share all the fun stuff that we want to with you guys on there as far as media goes. But yeah, and Matt, do you want to tell them the email address? Because we do have that now.
That's right, we do have an email address.
We do.
Gosh darn it. Okay, so it's journeytothemiddle@gmail.com. So just like the name of the show, Journey to the Middle, and we're using the Google type of email that's called Gmail with the .com at the end.
And we'll make sure that we add that to the episode notes as well, so you guys can find that. But yes, make sure to rate, subscribe, and review as well, because that helps us, and it gives us motivation to keep providing you guys with fun podcast episodes.
Good work on that one, Dana.
Yeah, it's getting a little late in the day and my brain is a little bit mush from the work day, but it's good. We're cruising on into the end of the day. So
Yep. All right, guys. So we're going to see you next time. Journey to the Middle. That's Dana.
And that's Matt.
We'll see you guys next time.
Oh, wait. No, I'm going to correct you this time. We're not going to see them. We'll talk to them soon.
All right. Right. Yeah, we'll talk to you. Peace.
Bye.